What's up, this is Frank for the House of Rags. In today's video, how to prep a car before polishing, before ceramic coating, or even before a season. How to really do a deep clean on your car, making sure everything is prepped before going further. Now, before we dive in, every detailer has his own way, his own process, his own products. This video is going to be about my process, the step-by-step process that I use on this specific car. Keep in mind, you gotta assess the car first and your situation. All right, step number one, engine bay. If you agreed on doing that, get rid of that first because you're gonna have water, dirt on the windshield, on the fenders and all that jazz. Next up, do the wheels and tires, very important. Don't forget your wheel wells as well. If you have somewhat of an access on SUV, you cannot skip the wheel wells. They're gonna jump at you if you skip them. I'm not gonna show because I have already made videos on this. This is more about the rest of my process. Now, step number two, you can go ahead, do your pre-wash or rinse the paint in general, making sure we get loose of some of the loose debris. And right after this, step number three is what I call the framework. So what is the framework? The framework for me is all the nooks and crannies, the door jamb, the gas cap, everything that gets dirty and neglected by the casual people. And you're gonna need only one product, your favorite APC. I have the green handle here, always for my APC, and maybe somewhat of a stiff brush or a boar's hair brush, something of that nature to go around the plastic molding. What I was saying is that this car has a lip, a plastic grille, then it has all those body lines or plastic molding where they meet other panels. All those gaps are very important to not skip. Here, where the light meets the bumper. So you're gonna use your brush with your APC, go in all those nooks and crannies, more plastic molding, badges around the mirror, probably in that crack too. Don't forget the windshield cowl. This can be done at the same time with your engine bay. That's very grimy normally. Very important to do that. So if you're polishing, you're not gonna have to worry about maybe adding micro scratches with this brush or any other step that we're gonna do. You pull the door handle, get some in there. A more smooth boar's hair sometimes is more practical. Doesn't have to be crazy. Do it quick. Some agitation is though in those areas are gonna do the trick very well. Here, even though the door is closed, I still wanted to do that crack. Same for the gas cap, make sure it's closed. I already checked that beforehand. And get in there. That's gonna be a nice touch. People want a ceramic coated car, but the most important thing that they want is a clean car. They want to keep it clean. That's the whole idea. Sometimes as a detailer, you can forget. You're going to focus more on the paint correction side of things, the quality of your products, but sometimes on older cars, you're going to have a clogged drain here. So you're going to do a 2-in-1. You can hear that drain. So like I said, I'm not worried about scratching this car. This car came in not too dirty. I did not pre-wash, but the APC can be your pre-wash as well. If you're working inside in the shade, don't be worried. Get your hose always ready. This car is gonna get polished regardless, so And you're gonna see why it doesn't matter on the next few steps. Here on this Volkswagen GTI, between those two doors, there's a rubber seal. You're never gonna clean that perfectly with your car soap, your Rinseless, and a sponge or a mitt. So get it properly, decrease like this, especially on the rear end. This is where all the dirt comes from your wheels on the highway and all that jazz. It's very good between the tail lights, pardon me. Give it a good scrub. On the hatchback style of car, that back window is more vertical to the ground, so they're gonna have lots of dirt stuck in those gaps. If you use a pressure washer, that's gonna be helpful, but even using the pressure washer, you're still gonna struggle with some of those nooks and crannies because regular people never do that. They will never clean their cracks if they use the car wash, if they use the hand car wash, automatic, doesn't matter. They're never gonna get that type of clean and it's gonna show. So it has to be done for the right detail. For me, the APC works like a champ. It's strong, it's safe. I can also spray this at the same time on the car using this as my pre-wash. 50 ounce in that IK and I'm the line almost finished. So make sure you get a high quality dilutable APC for this, all right? For me here, the car is ready. I'll just do a quick rinseless and there's gonna be 2 more steps before the end of this video, so stick around. Pre-treat, do the rinseless wash all over the car. So work panel by panel. This is something I've said before and I'm gonna say it again. Just a really good rule of thumb. I just did the front bumper. I'm happy that I've done the APC framework because it was full of bugs. When you get close to it, it's quite nasty. Just the rinseless and the pre-treat of the rinseless would have struggled, in my opinion, to clean this really good. And don't forget to clean at least 1 inch below, just in case someone checks for dirt here. And when you're applying your coating, you don't want to really pick up dirt from there or when you're wiping, all that jazz. You'll find that if you try to rush too quickly your prep, it's gonna cost you in the end, in the long run. So better invest that time now and have an easier life afterwards on the harder stuff. This process took a little bit more time at first, but now doing my wash, I can just go to town, go quick. There's no gaps, there's nothing that is gonna stop me here. Everything is already done in the nooks and crannies, the edges, the framework. And keep in mind, guys, you can do this for every single detail you have. If you have just a clean clay and seal, something of that nature, that would work really good. Now, take your clay towel, put it in your rinseless solution. Don't rinse the car again, just leave your rinseless there. Use your clay towel, the DIY method, but you can use any other clay towel that you have. Just make sure your iron remover is clay towel friendly. Some of those will melt the material of your clay towel. So just go quick. Here I don't feel much. This car has 40,000 kilometers. Not bad, the owner takes care of it. Great, already done. Next panel. This car is PPF. What I use today is safe on PPF, no problem. Just don't apply an insane amount of pressure, guys. Just use common sense. And when you stop feeling contaminants, you just have to stop and move on to the next panel. There's no need to scrub this paint for hours with your clay towel or your iron remover. Now, rinse off really well the iron remover. Don't let it dry, but in my experience, when it dries a little bit, never seen an issue. Again, use a reputable brand. This is where the trick comes in. We saved a lot of time by claying the vehicle and using the iron remover, both at the same time. Really good thorough decontamination. I use more iron remover than iron, if you notice that in the footage. I believe in using a little bit more, but it's just my way to do things. The next step is a little bit controversial. I might have something to do with it and other people as well, but I'm still working in the trenches with USR from DIY Detail. I feel it's a good step that's gonna make the paint sheets of the car much easier to dry, and if it helps to remove some of the minerals, some of that salt contamination that we have in my area, this would be a really nice bonus. So again, use your water spot remover. You can do a few sprays on the panel, rub that in, go around the car and rinse at the end. Pretty simple. I use a wet towel soaked in Rinseless. So I've seen some weird water behavior on this PPF. So like I said, it's a good insurance. Making sure we have removed whatever is there. Also can replace your 3 pH system. I don't know if I have a Superman bottle of the WSR from DIY Detail, but just as a side note, which is not really related to this video, but sometimes you'll hear people say that you should neutralize those WSR. So I just rinsed this one. This is part of the DIY process, just rinsing. So now I'm using the Rinseless to quote unquote neutralize and rinse. And then just dry the car and you're ready for the next step. I just blew off the car like you've seen. That's gonna be really helpful to dry that car faster. If you just dry it with the towels, you're gonna have drips during polishing, maybe during your coating, which is the worst nightmare. No water drips around the side mirrors, near the door handles, bumpers, all that. Look at that hood. I noticed a weird water behavior. You're gonna see, hopefully, those lines. Hopefully you are seeing those. There's a dozen and dozen of drip lines on the hood. My guess, you can see here, hopefully, that's on the PPF. So my guess is when you get in the car wash, the panel is hot, especially your hood, and then they throw chemicals. Sometimes they'll rinse the car first and then they're gonna throw high pH or high acidic product, and that pretty much stain your clear coat. And that's really, really bad. So I'm gonna have to polish this a little bit, light polish on the PPF. Attention to the windshield from last week or the other week video. You've seen my windshield video where I showed you the nastiness. It's not just my wife's car, it's everyone's car. Same thing, super grimy, smeary windshield. Even the roof, water spots, smearing. It's pretty bad. Yeah, pretty obvious. Guys, don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, give me a like. I really appreciate you. So this process took me under an hour and a half while filming, and I did engine bay. And the car is pretty much the cleanest car in the province, meaning that I've gone through every single step, every single material in this car. This is as clean as it's gonna get. With that said, my friends, thank you so much for watching my videos every Saturday night, 8 p.m. Don't forget you can use the coupon code DOGMA at thehouseofrags.com and .ca. And with that being said, thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.